Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cultural Awareness, the podcast that allows you to travel across the world. All of this from the backseat of your car, the comfort of your home, or maybe your neighbor house. Who knows? Wherever you are, welcome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm your host, Big Steph. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new podcast episode, and I hope everything in your life is going well. I know the coronavirus is still out there and making some damages, so please stay safe, be blessed, and work hard on, protecting yourself, by using whatever method works for you. In today's podcast episode, I wanted to get a little bit more into traditions, right? Traditions or Bantou tradition. And before I talk about this story, I want to give a little bit of a background. So, when we are born in Africa, we do not just choose any names, right? We choose the name based on a lineage, based on who we are giving you the name. Like, let's say, for example, my grandfather, and he was such and such and such and such, so, and they decided to name me after him. Then we will know, first of all, what the life of that grandfather was like, right? Was he a good person? Was he doing good deeds? You know what I mean? Because the giving the name to a child is not taken lightly. It's very, very sacred and important in our tradition to know exactly what that child represents. So they have a series of, I wouldn't say, it's kind of mystical things that allow them to know who they want to give, who they want to name the child after. Yes, you still carry your father's name, right? But most of the time, your other name, which is now, I'm not talking about the family name, I'm talking about your other last name, which represent like the lineage, is not chosen lightly. For example, me, most people, my family know, but most people that don't know me don't know. I was born with my legs, for example, right? Meaning my legs came out first versus my head, like most kids. So I wasn't, my parents didn't have much of a choice of choosing the name that I will carry, right? So yeah, you still get the family name, but I have another name which says the man that was born with his leg, so, and you can't just choose it lightly. So there's always somebody that you have to represent that is going to carry the lineage. There is a reason why in Africa, when before colonialization, we used not that we used to, we still do, we have what we call the sculpt ceremony, right? On the sculpt ceremony is when you go in Africa, like especially in like my mom's side, like let's say you go in the Baleng tribe, right? It's one of the fewest, maybe the first or second tribe in the entire Africa where they can retrace exactly the lineage of who gave birth to who. Why? Because every single time someone died, 20 years later, they will come back and open the casket, pretty much dig back the ground, open the casket and remove the skulls. And they will go and place it somewhere with the other skulls that were already buried. And we will put the name onto it, right? Like this person, this is the skull of this person. So when you come there and you want to know the lineage or where you come from, they will go by the head. They will be like, so they have in many places they have like thousands of sculptures, right? So they will say like this person gave birth to this person gave birth to this person gave birth to this person, and so forth and so on, so that is how we are able to retrace back our ancestor. So that is it's a common practice in my tribe where people, every time somebody died, maybe 25 years later, they will go back to remove the skull and put it with the other skull. So that's how we are able to know exactly who was who and what kind of life they live, right? And same thing with the kings, right? With the chief or kings, whatever you choose to call them. We call them chef, so meaning chief, but some people call them king. King, but let's say chief. So, on the chief, that is how we can retrace. Like, for example, I carry the name Nembot, who was one of the first chief of the tribe, right? Of the tribe of the Baleng tribe or the Bafusam tribe, right? So he had the name of Nembot, which is what I carry, like, strong individual. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm strong, but but I also carry the other name, which portrayed the fact that I was born with my leg instead of born, with my head like most individual. Why am I telling you this? Is because we have a story. The story that we are going to tell today is about this man. I took it from a TV channel back home, and it's about this man where he was having a hard time sleeping as a child. Like every single time he's having a hard time sleeping, where he hear voices, he hear noises, and while everybody is sleeping, he will see things, and he never understood what they meant. And he said finally, like, after those spirits tried to conquer him forever, and one day he said he was sleeping. Not that he was sleeping. He said everybody was sleeping. For us, we said that he was sleeping, but he was in a state of conscious mind where you can see exactly what happened. Even though you are sleeping, you can see what is happening. He said somebody appeared in the room and came and carried him in her hand and took the saliva from her mouth and put it on his forehead. So pretty much bless him. And after that, the person left. And so he was wondering who that person was. So that is why he wrote the story, to ask the traditionalists who that person was, and he said that everything, he's like everything that happened around him is like he's conscious without being like conscious. Like, for example, like at work, apparently some of his co-workers were complaining to hurt him or to do some harmful things to him, and he was aware of it. Like, he doesn't know how it's possible that he can hear this voice telling him, like, hey, such and such is, doing this against you, so be prepared of what they are doing. And he went and let the person know, like, hey, whatever you guys are planning to do against me is not going to work because I'm aware of it. And the person, like, they started being scared, and they say, yeah, like, how did you know, like, where we were planning on doing this. And he was like, and the person that he told that to was like, such and such, the one that put me up to it and things like that. And he said, yeah, I'm just letting you guys know that it will not work. So how come he's aware of every single danger that happens on his environment? Like, he's aware of it before it actually happened. Like, if you decide to harm him, he will see it coming before you actually even, so you will never get a chance to get to him. And he was wondering every single time. Yeah, like, he came in Cameroon because he's from a different country, right? So he came in Cameroon, and when he was in Cameroon about to go to the airport, an old lady appeared to him and asking him for money because she was hungry. And he said he didn't have much cash, but whatever he had, he gave it to her. So now when he fly out of Cameroon, he get to another country. And in that country, there's again another old lady that comes to him and asks for some money, and he gave it to her. And when he get back home, so now he's working because on his job he's traveling all the time. So now he leaves his country, he leaves this other country that we won't reveal because he leaves this other country and head back to his main country. And when he get back in his main country, on his way home, there's still another lady that asks him, hey, I'm very hungry. Can you help me with something? And he give her money. But he said he doesn't realize it because he's just helping. And it's until he get home that he realized that. Then he start putting the faces together, and he realized that in all those three countries, it was the same lady. And he's wondering how that is possible. Well, now you know the story. So how come this is possible? This is, I'm not trying to scare you. We're talking about African tradition and what goes on in our culture. Well, from what the ancestor was able to say, I'm just here to relate the story, right? So, from what the traditionalists were able to say is this: the reason why he was seeing things from the get go as a child is because he was meant for something greater, and the name that he should try to find out how can I say it? The name he carried, where it came from, who had that name before him. Why did they choose to give him that name? Because name you are not given lightly. He need to find out why he was given that name, and he doesn't need to necessarily find out who he is. He just needs to find out who carried the name and know, and that's it. Like, he will understand why everything and such is coming on to him. This is going back to our story that you have to be careful of the name you give to your children, because those names can shape their life. So he was given the name of an ancestor that was very powerful, and that old lady that keeps showing up to him is the reincarnation of that person that wants to make sure that he's doing good, because he said in his family he's the one pretty much carrying the light. Right? He's the light of their family. So he's the one helping everybody. He has a good job. He's always traveling. Like, those are the blessings that the ancestor are providing him, so he can look out. He can look out after the other members of his family. Now, what is the signification? What is the significance or signification? Yeah, I believe so. Signification of putting a saliva on his forehead by this ancestor. The saliva is actually a blessing. It's actually to calm his spirit down, so that the other noise can be blocked. Like, if you see in the Bible, like whenever a king like when Samuel anointed King David, by putting oil on his face, on his forehead. That is the same thing here. Like, the ancestor is coming to put some blessing onto him, so that now he can be focused. He doesn't have to worry about a thing. They are always the one alerting him of whenever a danger is coming. He can see things in the dream that later on are truth, and he wonder, like, hey, it look like this is like a deja vu, like, this is the second time this is happening. Well, the reason is because he have all these ancestors that are backing him up. The moral of the story, why am I telling you the story, is so that you as a human be careful of the name you choose to give to your kid, because that name will shape up their future. It will shape who they are. And sometimes you see people that always say, like, hey, you act like the such and such that we gave you the name, like you carry the name of such and such, you tend to act like him. Well, there's a reason that is because that name you guys gave him shape up the life of a child. So that was the story of the day, man. Be careful of the name you chose to give to your children, because that will shape their future. And that story obviously is coming from two countries, Cameroon and another country that I won't say, because, just in case. But anyway, that story is coming from Cameroon and another country. And we are in a phase where we are going. If you're familiar with the show, the podcast, I'm about to go ahead and give you the quote of the day. Since we got to work harder and we ain't have no commercial. Yep. So for the quote of the day, we had to fly all the way to, wait for it, Zambia. Yeah, Zambia, ladies and gentlemen. Zambia is also in Africa. I don't know if you knew that, but hey, this is the opportunity for you to learn something. So, this is how the quote of the day goes. The walls of the elders do not lock all the doors, but they leave the right door open. The walls of the elder do not lock all the doors, they leave the right door open. That was the quote of the day. So, sometimes you might be feeling down. You might be feeling that like every single doors are shut on your face, and you wonder where you got to go from now. Well, I'm just here to read that quote to you, right? There's always a door that is going to open that will be the right door. Like, all the doors are not closed for you in your future. The right door will eventually open. You have to work hard. You have to make success be attractive to you, right? Because there's this notion that people think like you have to become successful. No, you have to attract success. The best way to attract success is by being attractive yourselves. How do you become attractive in success? By putting high value to yourself. So the best way to become attractive to success is by putting high value to yourself. How do you put high value? Well, start reading a book. Trust me, I'm doing that right now. Why? Because I never really like reading book. I gotta be honest with you. I really never like reading book. But ever since I realized like by reading a book, it stops you from being on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Like you need to go on those websites whenever you're trying to get what I call a passive income, right? If it's not bringing you anything that is going to add more value to yourself, then stop doing it and do things, the little things that will bring more value into your life. Start reading maybe a page like I am, because I'm not a big reader, right? So I just choose to read a page a day. In 31 days, that will be 31 page, baby. Hey, we doing it. You know what I mean? So that will be 31 page. Hey, I'm just so proud of it. Why? Because I'm not a big reader, right? I'm not a big reader, but I figure that, hey, everybody that is successful is talking about reading. So what the hell? Why? I'm trying to be successful. Why not go out there and do what successful people do? So that is what I'm doing. I'm starting to read a page a day, and soon I'm going to pick up 2, 3, 4 pages a day, and that will take me where I want to be. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the show. Be careful of the name you give to your children, and add more value to yourself. That being said, have a great week. God bless. Peace. Big Steph.